Hi everybody, today I'm here to talk about how to dispute a grade in a college course. In other words, how to go about arguing with your professor that you deserve a different grade than what you got. Now, I have a specific grade dispute policy in my syllabus, and I have for several years. Some professors might have one, some might not. Some of them might differ from mine. So the things I'm going to talk about are my own grade dispute policy and procedure. If you're not sure about your own professor, you should really ask them, look at the syllabus, look at the course website, see if there's anything to guide you there, and follow their rules, not mine. One of the reasons I started having a grade dispute policy was, this was an incident from years ago. A young woman in my class came up to me after I had passed back a test, and she said, I'm an A student and I got a C on this exam. And I was like, yes, you did. That's the grade you earned for the number of questions you answered correctly. And she said, well, I'm really disappointed in this grade, and looked at me with anticipation. And I didn't know what to say to that. I said, well, I can understand why you would be disappointed in the grade. She finally came around to that she thought she deserved a better grade, but was unable to articulate why. So that discussion ended there. But if you do get a paper back from a professor or an exam where you feel that you should have done better, there are a couple things you should do to prepare for approaching your professor about that. Number one, let a day or two pass. Don't wait too long, because oftentimes professors want to deal with these things within a week, but let yourself come down from any anger or upset that you're feeling. Your initial reaction might be that the professor was unfair in the way she graded you, or that the exam was too hard, quote unquote, it was more difficult than you were expecting, or something like that. Give yourself a minute to come down from the emotion that you're feeling and to get ready to articulate an argument as to why you feel your grade should have been better. First thing you should do then is go to your textbook and your class notes and find some specific information there that supports your case that you should have gotten that item right, or that paragraph on your essay shouldn't have been marked down. So you want to find tangible proof that this is what the textbook says, or this is what the professor said in class, and my test answer or my essay writing reflects that. So here's my proof that I'm right. So you want to look for that, and oftentimes when you dig a little deeper, you will understand why your answer wasn't what the professor was looking for. If after that step you still feel that, yes, I was unfairly graded, that's the time to make an appointment to see the professor. You need to do this kind of thing in person, because we're really not supposed to discuss grades and things like that over email. So make an appointment to go to their office, or to have an appointment over Zoom or WebEx with them, and say, I would like to discuss my grade on this item. I would like to present an argument for a better grade, and make that appointment. Now, when you go into that appointment or WebEx meeting, you don't want to go in emotional. You don't want to go in angry. You don't want to make accusations against the professor. So you don't want to say things like, you're unfair, or you tricked us as to what was going to be on the exam, or something like that. Those kind of statements are not going to improve your case. So you want to come in as, I'm being very logical about this. I gave you an answer that I thought was right. Here's my supporting evidence as to why I think it should be right. And would you consider letting me have these points. And, be very professional, very polite about it. And the professor will usually, I will, consider the argument if you are making a calm and logical case for why you feel your grade should be changed. If the professor refuses and you want to pursue it further, there are avenues for you to do that. In our department, it would be to go to the department chair, who is my immediate supervisor, and from there, there's an appeal process that can go even higher up than that. Be aware that if you do pursue it past your professor, other people are going to get involved. One thing that might happen is that the professor might give your paper and the original assignment instructions to another faculty member and say, you grade this and see what you think. See, do you think the student answered the question properly? So it will, the circle of people who are involved in this will expand beyond just you and your professor at that point. You might ask the professor for an attempt to retake the exam or to rewrite the essay. I can't guarantee that that will be agreed to. In my case, I would probably not agree to that if we have demonstrated that your answer was not correct. It'll have to stand. Neither one of us, the teacher or the student, has a lot of time to redo work that was meant to be a one-time assignment and then to move on. The assignments we design are meant to test your proficiency with certain concepts, and you get a chance to demonstrate that proficiency on the assignment we give you. Repeats and rewrites are not a part of every course. They are built into some courses, but not into every course. So at that point, you want to consider, do you want to pursue this further? How many points is it worth? Can you see that your answer was not what the professor was looking for? Above all, try not to let it get you down too much or to be too angry or put off about it. You can move on from these situations even if you are not happy with the way it was resolved. I've had to move on from situations with students many times where I wasn't satisfied with the way that it was resolved, but we do our best. We're all human beings. So I hope that gives you some idea of how to approach the issue of wanting to dispute a grade. Again, your professor might have a different process than I do, but those are the steps that you should consider taking. Okay, I'll be back with another one of these college chats in the near future. Take care.